Alrighty, good afternoon. We start the noon with a live look at the Eisenhower-Johnson Tunnel. Traffic is now moving along, even with the snow there overnight. And then on I-70 near Lyman, it's back open there. Blowing snow was a concern between Lyman and Genoa. It was shut down there for a big part of today and in the morning today. But it looks like things are starting to flow. And then take a look at these pics posted to the Facebook page by the Kit Carton Sheriff's Office. You can see an Amazon truck slide right off the road there. In that post, they are reminding everyone to slow down to prevent accidents. The truck hit one of the department's SUVs and then barely missed another one. A deputy at the scene said the semi-truck slid past him so close he could almost touch it. Obviously, they say this accident was a very close call. And this morning we had crews all across the metro area, including south of Denver, the foothills, and near Wash Park. And we continue to keep an eye on conditions around the state and right here in the Denver metro area. Thank you for joining us. I am Jeremy Hohola.
And I'm Chris Bianchi. And yes, Jeremy, again, seeing all that snow here across the Denver area. The good news is, at least for us in town, I think the accumulating stuff's over and done with.
Yeah, scraping that ice off my Jeep today, it was like, gosh, when is this going to end? We're all at that, I think, that moment, like towards the end of the, of winter, like when is this going to end? But it never does.
Yeah, it doesn't. No. I mean, June is only about 3 months away, so that's the good news if you're really done with the snow.
Yeah.
So in the meantime, we are talking about some of those snowfall totals. I kind of want to show you those in visual form here in terms of what we saw. This is one of those unusual storms where basically everybody got a pretty good storm out of this one. And also unusual, notice Aurora, Parker, southeast side of the metro area. Those are usually some of the areas that end up getting some of the highest totals out of this. We only picked up about 2, 3, 4 inches in this part of town. Along and west of I-25, though, a lot of 6s, a lot of 7s, a lot of 8s. I can tell you here, the 90s backyard, we picked up about 6 inches worth of snowfall here in downtown Denver, and the airport about 3.2 inches officially in terms of some of those totals. So those headlines, it's windy, it's pretty, frankly, miserable out there for today, even with that snow basically over and done with for us here in Denver. We get some more mountain snow for tomorrow, but the story out here on the eastern plains, we're just showing you Kit Carson County, still under a blizzard warning. That's due to snow and wind. The southeastern plains getting some heavy snowfall, but Fort Morgan on south to Lyman, this is mostly light snowfall, but it's the wind that is the issue out here. It's kind of getting blown around. And then you get along Highway 50. That is a basically impossible drive out here. And that wind, that snow will continue, but we'll actually redevelop some mountain snowfall later on today, and we get more snow in the mountains tomorrow. I'll have those details for you coming up in my full forecast.
Right on, Chris. We're following some developing news right now in Commerce City where deputies are helping firefighters respond to a fire. We don't know much right now. The Adams County Sheriff's Office says South Adams Fire is responding to a fire near Highway 2 and 104th Avenue just north of the Rocky Mountain Arsenal. The Sheriff's Office says firefighters are getting water on the fire. We have a crew headed there right now, and we're working to learn more, and we'll bring you up to date later today. A former Loveland officer, Dylan Miller, is now facing one federal charge that could have him spending the rest of his life in jail. Police arrested Miller in November after a 15-year-old girl accused him of sexually assaulting her in a park while he was on duty. She told investigators Miller stopped her and another person in North Lake Park after hours. The victim said Miller told the other person to leave, then took the 15-year-old to a secluded area and assaulted her. He's also facing charges for kidnapping, sexual assault, official misconduct, and official oppression in Larimer County. Miller is due back in court on April 11th. Less than 2 weeks and the snow is back. The last storm shut down I-70, and our man in the mountains, Matt Renew, was out in the Eisenhower tunnels today.
I'm Matt Renew at the Eisenhower-Johnson tunnels just west of the Continental Divide, where this latest winter storm didn't quite have the impact that the one did 2 weeks ago, but still going to want to slow it down a little bit in or out of the mountains. Conditions have improved all morning long going into the afternoon with quite a bit of asphalt now showing up along I-70. That's in part because of all the work that CDOT plow crews have been doing, but also because we've gotten a lot more light. Storms clearing out, and that's melting a lot of that snow. You're going to want that windshield wiper fluid, though, in or out out of the mountains today as the storm cycles through and then causes a lot of that moisture to splash up onto your windshields that's been melting that snow on the sides of the roads. This has been a great storm for the ski areas. Loveland, Arapahoe Basin, Keystone all getting 3-4 inches of snow out of this storm, and Copper Mountain, Breckenridge getting about 6-7 inches out of this storm. And so they're doing really well as the season starts to wind down, because we're going into April, so we just have a few weeks left going into this ski season, and the snowpack's looking pretty good. This storm will freshen things up as well. Reporting from the Eisenhower-Johnson tunnels, I'm Matt Renew, 9 News.
And new at noon, a New York appeals court has given former President Trump 10 more days to post his bond to satisfy the civil fraud judgment. The judge significantly lowered the bond to $175 million. That's from $545 million. Legal experts are calling this a major lifeline for Trump. The ruling will delay efforts by the New York Attorney General to seize Trump properties. The former president had been struggling to come up with the means to post the original bond amount. Also today, a Manhattan criminal trial for alleged hush money paid to Stormy Daniels by Trump will start on April 15th. Trump had asked the judge to delay that trial. Today, the Colorado Springs mother accused of killing 2 of her children and injuring a third before leaving the United States to the UK appeared in a London court. Kimberly Singler faces multiple counts of first-degree murder, attempted murder, and child abuse after the incident in December. NBC's Josh Letterman has more from London.
Colorado mother Kimberly Singler was back in front of a British court today as the U.S. tries to extradite her to Colorado to face charges in connection with the deaths of her 2 children. Singler appeared briefly via video link into the court with her hair pulled back. She confirmed basic details for the judge, like her name and date of birth, and that was about it for this hearing, which is just one step in a long extradition process back into the U.S. Singler was arrested at the end of December in the U.K. after fleeing from the U.S., where she faces multiple first-degree murder charges, attempted murder, as well as child abuse charges stemming from the death of 2 children and injury of a third in what prosecutors say was a marital dispute. Now, Singler is going to have a long process ahead of her before she would ever see the inside of a courtroom in the U.S. In fact, even if a judge later this year rules that she should be extradited, that decision would then be sent to the British government, which would have to make a political decision about whether or not she should be sent back to the U.S. to face justice. At this point, we don't expect a ruling from the judge until September at the earliest, and so it could be many more months before a final decision on whether Kimberly Singler gets sent back to Colorado. Josh Letterman, NBC News in London.
Meanwhile, back here in Colorado, the search continues today for the person responsible for a shooting at a house party early yesterday morning. Commerce City police tell us a man died and 2 others were injured. Police believe the driver of this truck may have been involved in that shooting. It's a white single cab, older model pickup truck. The shooting took place a little before 2 o'clock Sunday morning. This happened at a home off East 69th Place near Rocky Mountain Arsenal. Police believe it started after dozens of people showed up to the house for a party. One neighbor says the sound of gunfire woke him up and then he found bullets inside his home. Here's one more look at that truck. If you recognize it or have information about this shooting, you are asked to call Commerce City Police at 303-289-3626.